If you looked at a blog post that I made of Pastor Chuck Baldwin titled "Cops and Catholics Starting to Stand: Where are the Evangelicals?" And he points out that the divide from this so-called pandemic is a separation of lovers of liberty from slaves of the state. Yes, he states that divide is going to widen, and I agree. And then he says this has always been America's battle, and it has been freedom versus belief in the government and control of the government. Last week, I was in a supermarket, and a lady older than me said I was standing too close. Well, I could have gotten in an argument with her because I was not standing too close, but instead, I asked her some questions. I had a little bit of time because she had quite a number of groceries. I said, "Do you believe in God?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Do you believe that God gave you free will?" She said, "Yes." I then said, "Well, with all the government rules and regulations and controls and so forth, do you believe that adds to or takes away from your free will?" She didn't answer. I asked, "Do you believe that politicians are honest?" She said, "No." I said, "So do you believe that corrupt," I added that word, "politicians appoint non-political parties in authority? Or do you believe that they have to follow what the politicians want them to do?" She didn't answer the question. So I could have asked more questions, but then she's about to check out. And the only thing she could say was, "You had better behave," because she said nothing else except for the answering yes to the two questions. I believe it was two. And I said, "Well, I cannot behave to a lying government." And remember, there's no government. It's only made up of people. That's called methodological individualism. Sorry. You don't have a nation. You have people in the nation. You don't have a government. You have people in the government. There is no government without people. It doesn't exist. My point is, we're going to have a battle, and we're going to be gotten on to by the people who believe every word or most of the words that come out of the mouths of those in the government, working for the government, or the news media, etc. And it's best to ask questions of people and be prepared. I like to start off with do you believe in God? Some people may say no, so don't be caught off guard. But you don't do what I do. Do what you want to do. But you can get deeper into, are you aware of Fauci, Dr. Fauci, that he hadn't practiced medicine in, it's on my blog, I don't remember the number of years. He's not really a medical specialist. Are you aware that he almost killed Magic Johnson? Well, no. The answer will be probably. So why don't you look it up? Are you aware that there's one or more books written about Dr. Fauci and all of his activities, and they're not very good, the activities they're reported. Have you seen any videos on Dr. Fauci? So a lot of questions you can ask. My point is, it's not going to do any good to get into an argument. These people are convinced they're right. They're convinced you're wrong. They want to tell you what to do. We want to be left alone. We want to leave them alone. If they want to wear masks, wear masks. But I don't want to be told to wear a mask. I was coming home from Auburn and the Mises Institute a week ago, and went into a big store, and every single person had on a mask. You didn't have to wear one, but every single person had on a mask. I probably will not go back into that store until they either, well, they didn't have a requirement, just everybody had on a mask. So I was not comfortable going in there, and will not go back. I'd prefer to order things through the internet than to go into there. That's just me. Don't tell me what to do. You can ask questions in that regard. Are you aware of the fact that when you wear a mask, you're breathing your own stuff back into yourself? Are you aware that being confined or wearing a mask does not do you any good in dealing with viruses and germs and so forth? You actually have to be you have to receive or be available to receive those germs and so forth to be able to fight them. Your immune system, are you aware that your immune system is not practicing if you're shutting yourself up? Are you covering yourself with a mask? That you're staying away from people? That your immune system is not strengthening, it is lessening. People don't think, they just hear what someone, especially from the news media and the government, says, and they follow it. So my purpose here is to say that it's not going to do any good to argue. You have to ask questions, in my judgment, and that may not do any good, but you either have to just not speak to them, ignore them, or if you want to carry on a dialogue, I think it's best to ask questions.